Hello beautiful people, thank you so much for tuning in. Today we are going to be covering some extended techniques for tin whistle and low whistle. As you guys know, I've never had any tin whistle training, so I've had to learn all these myself through watching other YouTubers online, also just experimenting with tin whistle, but these are the extended techniques that you guys can use if you're looking to create some different sounds with your tin whistle, and also just looking to expand the different genres of music that you guys can cover in creative and fun ways. So I've got a selection of whistles here in polymer and in alloy. I've got a tunable and non-tunable whistle, and the same applies for the high whistles. I've got a polymer tunable whistle and brass non-tunable whistle. One thing I will say is that these extended techniques are completely different to tin whistle ornaments. Extended techniques aren't necessarily used on a regular basis in general playing, but if you are interested in learning some tin whistle ornaments, some easy and some fun ones, you'll find a separate video on that up here on the little eye, linked in the description below and at the end of the video as well. So let's get started. Drop-off notes. Drop-off notes are particularly popular with Native American flute, and basically it requires you to reduce the amount of breath that you put into the whistle at the end of a long held note. So it sounds something like this. And it just means that you play with the dynamics of the whistle a little bit. You push a little bit more air in, you let that linger, and then you let it drop off at the end, as if you're running out of air instead of finishing the note, if that makes any sense. So just try it on the lower notes, because obviously in the second octave you do need more air to push into the second octave anyway, so second octave drop-offs tend to drop off into the lower octave and then drop off. So that sounds like this. Overblow and underblow. You can overblow certain notes and hit sort of harmonics in between the two octaves, and you can also underblow certain notes just to get those strange effects. Now you can put in the absolute tiniest amount of air and hardly really hit the note at all. Or you can overblow the notes and hit on the break in between the two octaves. Finger tapping tunes. If you have a whistle that has enough resonance about it and holes that are a certain size, you can actually make a sound by tapping the holes quite forcefully. You can just use it as a percussive element as well. You might also want to use these as sound effects, for example, raindrop sounds. Or horses' footsteps. There is lots you can do with this. Window vibrato. Window vibrato is using the window or the blade area here to actually fluctuate the amount of sound that your breath is putting through the whistle. So if you're just playing a note with your left hand, you can use your right hand to add some texture and some unusual sounds to the note you're playing. And this could be for a siren, or it could be for a bird call, or just to make some eerie, haunting Halloween sounds. Fluttertongue. Fluttertongue is using your tongue to make a fluttering sound, which you then play through the whistle. So for example, you can also do this at the back of your throat, almost like a purr. All of these sounds you can put into the whistle and get this sort of vibration effect. So with the tongue aspect, you get this sound. And with the back of the throat, you get this sound. So you can actually hum into the tin whistle, which gives you some really interesting effects. Now you can choose a note and hum that note as a drone underneath while you play a melody, or you can hum the same melody that you're playing, or you can hum a harmony. This is where it gets complicated. So let's go for the drone note. Sputato. Sputato is a very forceful tongue breath, almost like you're saying toot, toot, or spitting into your whistle, but really quite forcefully. These techniques are often used in percussive playing. I will be making a separate video on this, but I'm currently in the process of learning how to do that properly, so stay tuned for that. That will be coming in the next few weeks. Burbles. Burbles are a fun little thing to do, and that it basically involves running your fingers up and down the free holes with your free hand. So say for example you were playing an A on this D whistle. You just run your fingers up and down the holes and make this cool sounding effect. Glissando. Glissando is an amazing sound effect that involves slowly taking one finger after the other off all the holes and working your way up the notes on the whistle. So as you can see with that close-up, I do kind of angle my fingers in order to remove them from the notes one after the other, but it's just something really random, a really strange sound effect that you could add into something to make it sound kind of unique. Random fingers. This really is something that anyone can do. It is literally just playing your whistle and moving your fingers randomly. It gives that chaotic sort of feel. If you were using one instrument to, for example, create a backing track for an experimental film or a little short that you've done, you could use this to create tension in a scene or just do something chaotic and crazy. Pitch bend. Pitch bend is similar to half holding and sliding, but rather than actually creating the full note, you just sort of bend the pitch you're playing ever so slightly. So for example, so it's not a full note, it's just a slight bend in the current pitch. You can also do this moving upwards to bend the pitch as well. Blowing different bits. This is by far the most ridiculous and fun thing to do on tin whistle, but there isn't just one hole here that you can blow. You can blow any of the different parts of this whistle to get different sounds. So for example, we've got the top. You can blow it just like this. You can cover the mouthpiece and blow into it in a percussive way like this. You can blow across the blade like a transverse flute. You get that beautiful airy quality and still that sort of quiet, muffled note sound as well. You can blow across the mouthpiece in different ways. So rather than putting it in your mouth and blowing directly down like this, you can blow across the top. You can put the whistle in your mouth slightly sideways, which gives you a much softer and more rounded sound. You can also blow the holes. You can blow across the holes up and down. You can blow different holes and use different finger combinations. also blow the end of the whistle. For different cool sound effects. Exterior percussive. Now I call this exterior percussive because it's using the outside of the whistle without blowing through it to make percussive sounds. So for example, you can rub up and down the whistle. Across the holes or on the back. You can use a ring, if you've got one, to tap the whistle. And you can tap different parts. You can also tap the whistle itself with your hand. And you can tap different parts of the whistle, like the bottom. And if you have a tunable whistle, you can also take the top part off and tap individual sections. Drumstick. If you have a very strong tin whistle and you're fed up with the sound it makes, you can use it as a drumstick. Wobble whistle. It's pretty much as it sounds. On extended notes, for a very weird, underwater, strange, alien sounding effect, you can actually shake or wobble your whistle. Interesting. Bird sounds. One final thing you can do with tin whistle, if you have one that comes apart or is tunable, you can take the top part off and you can use this to make some really interesting bird sounds. If you blow really gently, you'll get a higher squeak. If you blow a little bit harder, you'll get an even higher squeak. Alien sounds. So that is it from me today. Those are some crazy sounds, extended techniques that you guys can try and have some fun with on tin whistle. Don't forget, don't take yourselves too seriously. Enjoy playing and you really will get the most out of it. You don't have to be the best player in the world in order to have fun and make this your hobby and really do something very creative and enjoyable with it. I hope you guys liked this video. Please do hit that like button. If you did, let me know in the comments down below. Subscribe if you haven't, and do hit the bell so you guys get notifications every time I post. Don't forget you can support the channel even further by checking me out on Ko-fi and Patreon, where you guys can get exclusive videos, all sorts of exclusive content, MP3s, PDF tabs, all sorts of stuff, you know the drill. And if you liked my Just Whistle t-shirt, don't forget to check out this and some of my other merch linked on my YouTube page in the description below as well. I hope you guys will like that. Don't forget to check out some of my other videos as well, guys. I'll put up some techniques for you this week, including the ornaments and anything that can help you improve your playing or just make it a little bit more interesting and dynamic. So, thanks for watching. I will see you guys very soon for another video. Until then, make some noise. Bye. It is so early. That was far too much noise for my neighbours.